صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله عليه وسلم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه. We begin بإذن الله عز وجل and with His grace subhanahu wa ta'ala with the first hadith in the first chapter of this book الشمائل المحمدية, the noble features of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. And this is related to the physical characteristics of the Prophet ﷺ. Why? Because it is logical to begin in describing how the Prophet looked sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why? There are many reasons for that. Number one is that when you visualize him through his description, this makes you relate to him rather than someone you don't know. Secondly, the Prophet said alayhi salatu wasalam in an authentic hadith, whoever sees me in his dream, then he had seen me for a reality or for true, because Satan cannot impersonate me. Now this hadith relates to how he really actually looked. If you don't know his description, I could get someone coming to me and saying, Sheikh, I saw the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. I say, describe him to me. He says, the Prophet ﷺ was like 4'10", and he was chubby, and his eyes were like the South Asians, and this and that. He said, nope, that's not the Prophet ﷺ. Someone says, oh, the Prophet was like 6'4", and he had a big afro, and he was like, a brother. I said, nope, doesn't fit the description. Once you are able to describe him in your vision, in your dream, as actually he was described by the companions, then you had seen the Prophet, and this is a great honor and a privilege. So this is why we start with his physical description, and then we go to other things of the things that he used to do in his daily routine, and then his character and how he dealt with others, in addition to what he wore, what he used for eating and drinking and the likes. So the first hadith is narrated by Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with him. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was neither very tall of stature nor short, meaning that the Prophet was an average. So he wasn't like 6'7" or 6'6", and he wasn't 4'10". He was average in his height. And his skin was neither pale white nor tawny or dark in complexion, which means that the Prophet ﷺ was not from the Vikings, and he was not from Africa. Rather, he was white, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we will come to explain this a bit further. His hair was neither crispy curled nor lank. So it was medium. It wasn't like the Asians, let down, and it wasn't curly. And Allah the Almighty had sent him to serve as his messenger. Allah revealed to him at the end of 40 years of his life, meaning he was made a prophet like most prophets at the age of 40, and this is the prime of a man's life. So he stayed in Mecca for 10 years and in Medina for 10 years. However, we know that he stayed in Mecca for 13. Why is Anas saying 10? Some scholars say that this is because he made the number even. So instead of saying 13, he said just 10. So he dropped 3. Some say that the first 3 years was the silent and secret and the covert da'wah, which means in the first 3 years the Prophet did not publicize it. He did not publicly call people to Islam. He went covertly to the people one-to-one, inviting them to Islam. If they accept, he would tell them, keep hush on it, keep it silent, don't publicize it. But after 3 years, Allah told him to announce it. So then it was 10 years of public da'wah and calling to Islam. And in Medina, he spent 10 years. And Allah took him onto himself at the age of 60. So Allah Azza wa Jal took him onto himself at the end of 60 years. Again, the number was made even, because we know that the vast majority of scholars, if not the consensus, that the Prophet ﷺ died when he was 63 years of age. And this is according to the Hijri calendar. According to the Gregorian calendar, it's about 61 years of age. Anas goes on to say, with fewer than 20 white hairs on his head and his beard. So the Prophet ﷺ maintained having a black hair and beard with few strands of white on his head and beard. And this gives us a preview how the Prophet looked ﷺ. He was average in height, average in complexion, and that he did not have any extremity in that, and his hair and beard were black with few white hairs. This is the first hadith we have. We will inshallah conclude as we progress in the other hadith related to this and go a little bit in depth in some of the issues related to it. هذا والله أعلم ونسبة العلم إليه أسلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد.